Imagine walking out your door at dawn, coffee in hand, only to see 3 squad cars screeching onto your property. Lights blazing like it's a drug bust. All because your brother, a double amputee vet, is peacefully casting a line into the family lake he's fished since he was a kid. There he sits in his wheelchair, rod in hand, looking more confused than criminal, while the cops circle him like he's public enemy number 1. And the puppet master behind this circus? Our neighborhood HOA queen, who thought harassing a war hero over community standards would be her ticket to unchallenged power, until it backfired spectacularly, costing her millions and landing her in federal cuffs. Let me paint the picture for you, folks. My name's Alex Harlan, and I run a small auto repair shop in the sleepy suburbs of Oak Ridge Estates, just outside Atlanta. It's one of those places that looks picture-perfect on the surface: manicured lawns, white picket fences, kids on bikes, but underneath, it's a pressure cooker of petty rules enforced by folks who treat the HOA handbook like holy writ. My sister, Jamie, and I inherited our grandparents' 10-acre spread after Pop passed last year. It's got this gorgeous 2-acre pond he dug himself back in the 70s, complete with a rickety dock that's seen better days but holds a ton of memories. Jamie, who lost both legs below the knee in Iraq dodging IEDs, uses that pond like therapy. The whir of her electric wheelchair on the wooden planks, the splash of her lure hitting the water, it's the one thing that quiets the ghosts in her head. No drama, no fuss, just a vet finding some peace on her own land. That is, until Patricia Patty Langford waltzed into the picture. Picture a woman in her mid-50s, always in starched khakis and a polo shirt embroidered with the HOA logo, clutching her smartphone like it's the nuclear codes. She got elected president 2 years ago on a platform of elevating property values and maintaining aesthetic harmony, which is code for micromanaging everyone's life like she's the mayor of her own little fiefdom. The first time she showed up at our gate, she had this saccharine smile plastered on, but her eyes were sharp as tacks. "Mr. Harlan," she cooed, stepping over the property line without so much as a "how do you do?" "I'm afraid we've got a little issue with your water feature." She waved her phone around, showing some blurry satellite image. "It appears to encroach on the community's green space. We'll need you to restrict access immediately for safety reasons." Of course. I stood there in my grease-stained overalls, wiping my hands on a rag, and pulled out Pop's original deed from the safe. "Mrs. Langford, every inch of this pond is on Harlan land. Pop dug it with his own backhoe before your subdivision even broke ground." She barely glanced at it, tilting her head with that pitying look busybodies give when they've already made up their minds. "Well, documents can be misinterpreted. Our legal team will review. In the meantime, no unauthorized activities. We wouldn't want any liability issues, would we?" And just like that, she clip-clopped away in her sensible loafers, leaving a trail of floral perfume that made my eyes water. I bit my tongue, figuring it was just one of those HOA quirks. Annoying, but harmless. Jamie, wheeling up behind me, just shook her head. "That woman's got a stick up her but the size of a flagpole. Let's see how far she pushes." Oh, she pushed. All right. Started subtle, like a slow drip that turns into a flood. Patty organized neighborhood watch patrols that somehow always looped by our pond right when Jamie was out there fishing. She'd cruise by in her shiny SUV, windows down, jotting notes with a flourish. Then came the noise complaints about Jamie's wheelchair motor, of all things. "It's disturbing the peace," read the official letter. stamped with the HOA seal. Medical devices must comply with decibel limits. Can you imagine? A vet's mobility aid treated like a revving motorcycle. Jamie read it aloud at dinner, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Decibel limits? What? Am I supposed to oil it with fairy dust? I laughed it off. But inside, I was fuming. The HOA newsletter started running anonymous blurbs. Concerns raised over unsightly recreational gear cluttering waterfront views. Neighbors I'd known for years started giving us side-eye at the mailbox, whispering about how we were resisting community progress. I stayed quiet at first, observing like Pop taught me, watch the patterns, gather the facts. But it ate at Jamie. She'd roll back from the dock earlier each day, her tackle box untouched, staring out the window with that 1,000-yard stare. They're turning our sanctuary into a battlefield, she muttered one night. What really boiled my blood was how Patty spun the narrative. She'd corner folks at block parties, all smiles and sympathy. It's such a shame the Harlans won't cooperate. We're just trying to keep things nice for everyone. Most neighbors were good eggs, but fear of fines kept them nodding along. Patty was a master at it, polite on the surface, venom underneath, always cloaking her control freakery in for the greater good BS. One evening, as the sun dipped low and turned the pond golden, Jamie wheeled up to me in the garage. Alex, this isn't random. Look at who she's targeting. She'd been digging online, her military intel skills kicking in. Turns out, our pond property was prime real estate, waterfront, undeveloped, perfect for flipping to some yuppie developer. And we weren't alone. Old Mrs. Benson down the street got hit for her herb garden, attracting pests. Miguel Torres for parking his work van in his driveway, commercial vehicle violation. The Kowalskis for their 2 pet goats, livestock in residential zone. All folks on desirable lots. All vulnerable seniors, immigrants, vets like Jamie. She's gentrifying the block, Jamie said, eyes narrowing. Push us out. Bring in her cronies. Pocket the commissions. I nodded, the pieces clicking. Patty wasn't just a busybody. She was a shark in sheep's clothing. The first big salvo came wrapped in officialdom. I was under the hood of a customer's Chevy when a county van pulled up, kicking up dust. Out steps Inspector Bob Klein, clipboard in hand, looking apologetic as hell. Mr. Harlan, got a report of unlicensed aquaculture operations. I nearly dropped my wrench. Aqua what? It's a pond, Bob. We catch a few catfish for dinner. He shrugged. Complaint says you're running a commercial fish farm, charging access fees. Gotta check it out. We both knew who filed it. Patty, with her concerned citizen hat on. I led him to Pop's old shed, pulled out the faded ledgers. Decades of fishing logs, every catch noted in Pop's crabby handwriting. More organized than my tax returns, Bob chuckled, flipping pages. You're good, Alex. But off the record, this is the 4th bogus call from the same source this month. That night, the phone lit up. Mrs. Benson. That which said my basil was a rodent magnet. Miguel. She reported my van as a homeless shelter. The Kowalskis. Our goats are suddenly a biohazard? The stench of Patty's scheme was unmistakable. Systematic harassment to force sales. Jamie mapped it out on the kitchen table like a battle plan. She's betting we won't fight back. Big mistake. We decided to play it smart. Document everything. Stay calm. Wait for her to overreach. Patty's next move was pure theater of the absurd. A certified letter arrived. heavy with legalese, accusing us of ongoing noncompliance and detrimental conduct to communal aesthetics, threatened fines, liens, even escalation to authorities. Jamie read it with a snort. Detrimental? Like my existence offends her color scheme. We ignored it, but Patty amped up the surveillance, her SUV becoming a fixture on our road. Neighbors started confiding, "She's got us all scared of special assessments if we don't toe the line." Then came the environmental ambush. I'm nursing a beer on the porch, watching Jamie bait her hook, when texts flood in, "Health department here, hazmat gear." Sure enough, Dr. Elena Ruiz rolls up in a van loaded with test kits, suited up like she's defusing a bomb. "Allegations of water contamination from your activities," she says, unpacking vials. "Bacterial runoff endangering the aquifer." I bit back a laugh. "From fishing? What? The worms are terrorists." But she had to test bureaucracy's blind. As she sampled, Patty's SUV idled nearby, her silhouette visible, probably smirking. Channeling Pop's wisdom, "Prove 'em wrong till they choke," I shelled out for independent testing from EcoPure Labs. $2,800 down the drain, but worth it. Their report? Our pond was pristine, naturally filtering the area's groundwater. But the county's results? Patty's HOA retention pond was a chemical cesspool, fertilizer overload, pesticide soup. "Your pond's actually cleaning up their mess, Dr. Ruiz called to say, mortified. Irony hit like a truck. Patty accused us of pollution while her model community was the real toxin. Jamie dove deeper, uncovering Patty's shady past. License suspensions in Texas and Florida for similar scams, harassing owners, forcing sales, raking in fees. "She's a serial suburb wrecker," Jamie said. Neighbors woke up. Social media buzzed with shared nightmares. Mrs. Benson baked pies and spilled tea. "She threatened my social security over my petunias." Miguel hosted a grill out where stories flowed like beer. Patty's empire cracked. Her meetings turned frantic. Her blazers rumpled. Desperation made her sloppy. Dawn broke peaceful. Birds chirping. Jamie wheeling to the dock. Then sirens wail. 3 cop cars swarm. Officers approaching Jamie like she's armed. "Reports of trespass and harassment," says Officer Diaz, shifting uncomfortably. Jamie, cool as ever. "On my own land? With a fishing pole." I flashed the deed. They backed off, but I countered, "File against her for false report." Body cams rolled as I detailed Patty's crusade. The cops' faces hardened. They'd been played. That afternoon, Mrs. Benson dropped a bombshell envelope. Leaked HOA docs showing embezzlement, fake repairs, padded bills, millions siphoned. Found it in the trash. Her hubby must have slipped. Patty's husband, Carl, was in deep. His firm's overbilling. We tipped the FBI. They pounced. Patty panicked. Shredded papers, caught on cam. Bribed a witness, recorded. Even tried framing me with planted vandalism tools in my truck at 3 a.m. Our security nabbed it all. The sting unfolded like a bad spy flick. Cops questioned me while FBI monitored. Patty perjured herself on tape, detailing fake crimes. Carl, wired up for a plea. Spilled. $4 million stolen. Harassment playbook exposed. Agents nabbed Patty mid-statement. Perp walk viral. Charges piled. Fraud. Tampering. Perjury. Community erupted. Emergency vote ousted her. Audits clawed back funds. The town hall hearing was cathartic chaos. Jamie, in uniform, faced Patty in orange jumpsuit. You saw weakness in my chair. Saw victims in our neighbors. Wrong call. Prosecutor unveiled slides. Millions embezzled. Lives ruined. Patty's mumbled apology drew boos. Judge slammed 12 years. Full restitution. Assets auctioned, her SUV-funded vet programs. 6 months on. Oak Ridge thrives. Transparent HO. Community gardens where fear once grew. Jamie's Pond hosts kid fishing clinics. Scholarships from recovered cash aid families Patty targeted. Laws changed statewide for HOA oversight. Patty folds laundry in prison. Carl does time. Our block, neighbors again, not suspects. But here's the kicker. Was Patty the real villain, or just the symptom of a system that lets mini-dictators run amok? You tell me, is it ever okay to weaponize rules against the vulnerable? Or does that make you the one breaking the social contract? Drop your take below, right or wrong.